Let's start with a truth most never hear. Sexual energy is not just libido. It's life force. It's the current that builds galaxies, grows forests, and animates your body. And it's not just sacred, it's structured. It follows laws, it pulses in frequencies. But most people treat it like junk energy, used, discarded, misunderstood. You've been taught it's either for reproduction or pleasure, one rooted in biology, the other in escape. But what if it's neither? What if it's a carrier wave for something far more powerful, like consciousness itself? In ancient Egypt, India, and the inner temples of Gnosis, this truth was sacred. Your sexual energy is programmable. It responds to your intention. It holds memory. It stores vibration. When used with intention, it awakens your kundalini. It opens your third eye. It refines your aura. And yes, it can literally shift your timeline. But here's the paradox. The same energy that can activate your soul can also trap it in loops. Because when you misuse sexual energy through unconscious release, overstimulation, or digital addiction, you don't just waste energy, you leak it. And in doing so, you invite in emotional confusion, focus problems, low spiritual awareness, energetic parasites, and worst of all, numbness to your own truth. You stop seeing signs. You stop hearing your inner voice. You get stuck in need instead of creation. This isn't a punishment. It's physics. Sexual energy is raw electricity. If you don't direct it, it directs you. So before we go deeper, ask yourself, what would happen if you stopped seeing sexual energy as a craving and started seeing it as a tool, a frequency, a code, a sacred technology built into your body, not to be repressed, not to be abused, but to be mastered? Because the truth is, you're not meant to just survive your urges, you're meant to transcend through them. And that's what this journey is about. Have you ever noticed how drained some people feel after sex? Like a fire was lit, only to be instantly snuffed out? That's not normal. That's leakage. Because sexual energy, when released without awareness, doesn't just exit the body, it depletes your field. It's no different than electricity. If you ground it properly, it powers something. If you just short-circuit it, it burns out. And here's the deeper layer. Sex isn't just physical, it's vibrational. Each sexual encounter is a frequency exchange, not just of fluids, but of memories, emotions, karma, and even entities. That's why after sex with the wrong person, you might feel heavy, foggy, lost, anxious, disconnected from your higher self. But with the right person, in the right state, you feel reborn, clear, charged. So what's the difference? Intention, awareness, direction. When you approach sex from the root chakra, just physical, hungry, fast, you stay stuck in survival frequency. But when you raise the energy up the spine, past the heart, into the third eye, you're no longer just having sex, you're having a vibrational alignment. And this is what the ancients meant by sex magic. Not spells, not rituals, just full presence with your own frequency field. Because sexual energy doesn't just stimulate, it programs. Think about it. Why do affirmations, visualizations, and prayers become 10 times more powerful when fused with sexual energy? Because that's the moment your vibration is most alive. And yet, most people throw it away in 30 seconds, scrolling pixels, chasing dopamine, never transmuting a drop of it into higher consciousness. This is why, after a binge or a hookup, you often feel low, not high. Because your soul knows you use divine energy to feed a very temporary need. So here's the challenge. Next time you feel the surge, pause, breathe, focus. What if instead of chasing release, you rode the current up? What would happen if you used that energy to manifest, to heal, to open your intuition? You'd stop leaking, you'd start leading, and you'd discover the secret they never taught you. Your sexual energy was never meant to be wasted. It was meant to awaken the God within. We've been lied to, told that pleasure must always end in release, told that to let go is the goal, but the ancients knew something else entirely. True power is in the holding, not in repression, but in redirection. In the temples of ancient India and Egypt, sacred practitioners would channel sexual energy, not outward but upward. They called it ojas in Ayurveda, chi in Taoism, sekhem in Kemet. And every tradition had the same truth. What you hold, you amplify. What you waste, you weaken. Imagine this. Instead of releasing your energy in seconds, you circulate it through your spine, from root to sacral, up through the solar plexus, into the heart, the throat, the third eye, until it explodes in the crown chakra. This is not fantasy. It's neurochemical, biological, spiritual. When you practice sexual alchemy, you recharge your aura, sharpen your intuition, strengthen your magnetism, delay aging, attract higher partners and higher timelines. Because the universe doesn't reward denial, it rewards discipline. And there's a massive difference. Repression creates shame, but redirection creates power. And this is what they never taught you. Every time you retain, circulate, and refine your sexual energy, you don't become less human. You become more divine. But this requires consciousness. It requires training. It requires feeling every wave of desire and choosing not to suppress it, but to elevate it. Most people never get here because they never think it's possible. They confuse arousal with urgency. They think, I feel it, so I must act on it. But you're starting to see it differently. Because if your body is a temple, then your energy is the offering. And you don't burn the offering on impulse. You raise it, hold it, and offer it to the highest part of yourself. That's what makes it sacred. So the next time you feel that surge, don't rush to silence it. Breathe into it, climb with it, and ask, what part of me is waking up right now? And what reality is trying to be born through me if I don't waste this power? If this is hitting something deep in you, don't just feel it. Subscribe, turn on notifications, because we're going deeper into teachings they never wanted you to remember. Let's be real. You didn't just randomly fall into low energy, you were trained into it. From an early age, your environment bombarded you with messages. Sex sells. Don't suppress your urges. It's natural to watch porn. Hookup culture is freedom. But freedom without direction becomes enslavement without chains. And that's exactly the trap. The modern world weaponizes your sexual energy against you. Here's how. 1. Porn industry. Multi-billion-dollar algorithms designed not to satisfy, but to keep you coming back. Dopamine hits, unrealistic visuals, constant novelty. Your brain rewires, your expectations distort, and worst of all, your natural ability to build energy dies. Why build when you can click and release? Why channel when you can binge and forget? 2. Over-sexualized media. Every ad, every music video, every scroll flashes skin and stimulation, not because it empowers you, but because it distracts you. The more you chase outside, the less you cultivate inside. 3. Digital draining. You think you're relaxing, but your nervous system's being hacked. Every swipe, every scroll, every flirtation without depth, it's pulling from the same source, your sacred energy. And here's the truth no one's saying. Every unnecessary release is a transaction, and what you're trading is your power. You leak clarity, you weaken focus, you block intuition, you numb your own spiritual GPS. And when you're numb, you're programmable. This is why the world pushes disconnection. Because someone who controls their energy can't be sold anything, can't be manipulated, can't be ruled. So the system doesn't just ignore your sexual energy, it hijacks it. It tells you pleasure is the end, when in reality, pleasure is just the gateway. The true end is transformation. And if you've ever felt like you're meant for more, that your body holds ancient power, that your desire is bigger than just lust, you're right. Because beneath the programming, beneath the screens, beneath the numbing, your fire still burns. And in the next part, we're going to explore how to rewire your entire energy system to become magnetic, clear, clear and connected again. So now you know what's been hijacked. Now it's time to take it back. Because here's what no one tells you. You don't need to kill your desire to master it. You just need to change the way it flows. And that starts with daily energy hygiene, spiritual, emotional, physical. Let's break it down. 1. Cycle, don't suppress. When sexual energy arises, most people either act on it immediately or shove it into shame. But there's a third way. Circulate it. Here's how. Inhale slowly through your nose. As you do, imagine the energy rising from your base spine. Let it climb your back like a glowing coil. Exhale and guide that light through your third eye and crown. You'll feel heat, maybe tingling, maybe even tears. That's your real self waking up. 2. The root lock. Used in ancient yoga and tantra, the Mula Bandha is the act of engaging the perineum, a subtle contraction at the base of the spine. This simple technique literally holds energy within the body, redirecting it away from the lower chakras and up toward spiritual centers. Try this during meditation or when aroused, not to block the feeling, but to lift it. 3. Refocus the mind. Sexual urges are often disguised creativity looking for expression. So when the fire hits, don't scroll, don't watch, don't cave. Instead, make something. Draw, write, move. Let the energy move through your hands, not just your loins. Suddenly, you're not fighting your energy, you're using it. 4. Sacred transmutation ritual. Pick a time, sunrise, sunset, new moon. Sit in silence, light a candle, breathe into your sacral center, feel the fire, hold it without rushing, then ask, what can this energy become if I choose creation over craving? And just sit. You'll feel it. Ideas, visions, power, your entire life force, recalibrating. The truth is, your sexual energy was never meant to be feared or flaunted. It was meant to be forged. Like a blacksmith of spirit, you turn heat into tools, urge into focus, fire into light, and slowly, the distractions fade, the cravings dissolve. You stop needing permission from the outside to feel powerful on the inside, because now you realize this energy isn't just yours, it is you, and when used properly, it doesn't just give pleasure, it gives birth to purpose. Ask yourself this: are you connecting with people, or just colliding? Because most of what we call sexual attraction is actually just trauma resonance. It's not soul calling to soul, it's wound recognizing wound. But when you elevate your sexual energy, when you stop leaking it, wasting it, or giving it away without presence, something radical happens. You stop attracting from lack, and you start magnetizing from truth. Let's break this down. 1. The magnetic field shift. Your sexual energy is electromagnetic. The moment you begin to hold, refine, and recycle it, your aura changes. People feel you before you speak. They sense depth, a current running through you. It's not about appearance anymore. It's about vibration. And the ones who are truly aligned, they show up. Not because you're chasing, but because you've become a signal. 2. No more false fires. Before energy mastery, you were probably drawn to people based on physical chemistry, emotional chaos, familiar patterns of abandonment or control. It felt intense, addictive, like this must be love. But it wasn't. It was energetic noise. Once you clear your field, those connections fall away, and what's left is silence, then clarity. You no longer crave the storm, you crave resonance. 3. From sex to fusion. True sacred connection is not about technique, it's not about performance, it's about frequency fusion. When two people have cultivated their energy, when both are holding fire, not chasing it, then the act of union becomes ritual. Time bends, energy merges, third eyes synchronize, Visions arise. This is where sex becomes astral travel, chakra activation, timeline merging, deep healing. It's no longer about pleasure, it's about expansion. And in this space you realize you never needed another to complete you, but with the right one, you both expand beyond what's possible alone. 4. Detach from outcome, connect to essence. One mistake energy-aware people make is using energy mastery as a tool to attract. But that's just another form of chasing. Instead, be magnetic because it's your nature. Be sovereign in your frequency. And let alignment come to you organically, because real connection doesn't arrive when you're searching. It arrives when you're full of self, full of stillness, full of source. The truth, sacred union isn't found, it's remembered through your own energetic refinement. And once you taste that kind of connection, you can never go back to shallow, because now you've felt the real thing. Now you're home. You've held the energy, you've raised it, you've stopped leaking, chasing, numbing. But how do you know it's actually working? What does it feel like when sexual energy becomes frequency? It's not fireworks, it's not lust, it's not even constant euphoria. It's something deeper, quieter, more powerful than excitement. It's alignment. Here's what starts to happen when your energy truly wakes up. 1. You become magnetically calm. People start noticing your presence, but not because you're loud or flashy, because you're still, centered. You walk into rooms and the energy shifts. Why? Because your field is now coherent. You've stopped scattering your essence, and the world responds to that. 2. Heightened intuition. You stop second-guessing yourself. You start knowing. You get gut feelings that turn out true. You sense other people's states instantly. You begin to see through lies, masks, projections. Why? Because sexual energy, when transmuted, fuels the third eye. It's not mystical, it's neurological. Your brain literally sharpens. The fog lifts. You stop being confused about what you want and start being pulled toward it with clarity. 3. Body awareness increases. You feel your heartbeat more. You breathe deeper. Your posture shifts. Movements become intentional. Why? Because the body isn't numb anymore. It's no longer used like a machine for quick release. It's a temple again. You begin to feel energy move in your spine, warmth in your core, buzzing in your hands during meditation. That's not your imagination. That's your life force reintegrating. 4. Reality gets weird in the best way. Synchronicities accelerate. Dreams get vivid. You wake up between 3 to 5 a.m. You meet people you swear you knew in another life. You start noticing signs, symbols, number codes. The universe starts speaking. Why? Because now you're not vibrating in chaos. You've become a coherent signal, and reality always reflects frequency. So instead of fighting life, life starts flowing through you. The key truth: awakening sexual energy doesn't just change your urges, it changes your perception. And once you see differently, you live differently. Food tastes richer, touch feels electric, even silence feels full. You're no longer surviving this world, you're co-creating it. And in the final part, we'll go even deeper, into the full potential of your energy, and how mastering it might just be the most spiritual act you'll ever commit. Let's bring it all together. Your sexual energy was never just about reproduction. It's not dirty, it's not shameful, and it's definitely not meaningless. It's the original language of your soul, the energy that births stars, moves through your spine. Every single day, you've been trained to leak it, to spend it, to chase it outside of yourself. But now you see the truth. Sexual energy is frequency. Frequency is intention, and intention is destiny. This isn't about becoming a monk. or repressing desire. It's about becoming so conscious of your fire that it fuels creation instead of compulsion. So what happens when you truly master this? You stop chasing pleasure because you're living in purpose. You stop obsessing over attraction because you're radiating alignment. You stop looking for love in chaos because you've become a vessel for real connection. And suddenly, life starts to mirror your power. Not because you got lucky, but because your energy became so clear, the universe had no choice but to respond. You now understand why the system encourages constant release, why distractions are always sexualized, why hookup culture feels empty, and why the most powerful people on this planet practice energetic retention, because when your energy is yours, so is your life. But here's the truth. Knowing is not enough. Doing is the difference. You've watched this far because something inside you is ready to shift, to rise, to reclaim what you've always carried. So here's what I want you to sit with tonight. What would happen if, for the next 30 days, you stopped wasting your energy and started channeling it into your purpose? How would your body feel? How would people respond to you? What version of yourself is waiting on the other side of that fire? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one, and if this video hit something deep, go watch our next piece on